Hello. Today is September 22 from 2022. This is the Kubebuilder Control Runtime and Controller Tools meeting. Please don't say anything that you don't would like to have in the internet for all posterity. So let's start. Usually we start with new faces. Uh, Have we any new face that you'd like to present? I don't think so, because all faces here is familiar for me. So let's move on. Okay, the first thing is I put here announcements. So we release a new version from Kubebuilder this week. We could solve the problems in the release as well. Now we no longer use the Google Cloud to build the binaries. Varsha and Jesus and I did this release together. All fine. Okay. The other thing that the other thing that I'd like to share is we have now here in the Kubebuilder. Can you see the discussions topic? Just to be
Oh,
sure
we
that
enabled the discussions in. Was that always there? I mean, enabled
yes,
or
yes.
oh,
And it's nice because many people try to answer the questions as well. Sometimes I try to come here and see if it has something that I can help. But the cool thing is like it has people from the community as well that it has been answered a lot of things.
ooh, I like this.
Yeah, that is nice. And then we created this one, the announcements. It was done like in the end of the July. And I put here the announcements that we have been doing, right? Uh, just for we have the informations. So we can, for example, this one will also announcing the Red Hat community. So also can impact, also is relevant for Kubebuilder users. So I just put the same thing here for let they know about the removals, the security standards as well. And it is about the Go-V2. But we can put here any announcements, anything that we see that would be relevant for the folks.
I like it.
Ooh, and then the other announcement that I'm very happy with, Jesus and Varsha, you stepping in as admin as well. Jesus, I think everybody here knows, and he is also hello. Hello.
Figure I'd make an appearance.
Yeah.
So,
She's
yeah, we've worked with Camilla for a long time and been helping out with Kubebuilder and primarily on the operator SDK and other, also an operator framework chair. And what else? I can now say I'm a KubeCon speaker. so, so yeah, I've been around.
Yeah, Jesus is also technical lead of SDK. SDK is one of the consumers of Kubebuilder as a lead. Jesus is very skilled and he has been helping us too much. Varsha is a hawk as well. It's another star. So she has been helping the Google Summer Coach program, is very knowledgeable in controller runtime and in controller tools, and both has been contributing a lot with the project, and that will be nice because we will win more forces to to grow the project, change everything, the community. Jesus can help. Maybe we can speak in the next KubeCon about Kubebuilder. Jesus is very skilled on that. So
I'm gonna hire you to introduce me everywhere now.
Yeah.
do you like? That is good.
Thank you so much, Camilla. It's like been around, but it's been a learning experience with Kubebuilder always. There's always something new to learn from the community. So it's nice to be a continue to be a part of it.
And that is very nice as well for the project because it's I think we need to grow and have more contributors and it's a lot of effort to help everybody. So how much more people be engaged, that is amazing, right? So kudos for yeah. And is that anyone, would you like to say something?
No.
No. Okay. So the next one is community interests. So I put a few things here for we discuss. One is about remove GoV2, right? So I would like to see with you folks, when do you think that we can do that? Because if we check, let's see here, if we check here, here has the data. Okay, so since it is date, we no longer scaffold this plugin by default, right? So it is mainly deprecated from since from this date. But I don't know, like, could we remove it from the next release? Should we do another announcement and say, okay, we will remove when we bump Kubernetes 1.26, for example?
Uh, Kubernetes 1.26 is in December. So I think we have like around 2 months more. So we can probably do some announcements by then, get some traction. And like 1.26 seems a good target. But it won't be 3.8. I think we'll have a bunch of more minor releases of Kubebuilder. But if 1.26 is the target, then it would be 2 months from now.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's nice, right? Only we let people know. Anyway, this plugin we cannot upgrade, you cannot update anything because it doesn't work with the CRG v1 and webhooks v1, right? But I don't know if it has people using, right? So we can convey. Has anyone no objection? Could we convey to announce that we will no longer serve the GoV2 on the Quebec? Is that okay?
Yep.
Great. Okay. Okay, the other one is about cheats, right? We have the request here was like if we change the layout, put the package and API and controller inside of the package. If we check many Golang documentations, they claim that that is a good practice, right? And we have 21 people that vote on this one. It is open for a while, and it was brought in this meeting many times. So I was thinking, we don't need to reach out to the consensus now, but I was thinking about if we change the layout from the Go before Alpha plugin, and you change as people is asking about, what should be the problem? Because I I don't have any objections, right? Like today we have.
So you're suggesting changing where we scaffold out the API and controller to fix that issue in the Go v4?
Yes, because people would like to have like a package and API and controllers inside.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when we init a project, that usually only happens once, correct?
Yes,
So if we change it, init will be fine. Create API will be the one that is
it's affected.
most affected, because it would need to know
You change the
where
path.
it goes to create it. Can we make the create API smart? Because right now there's only the one place, the root. Seems like maybe we could have it check both without having to. Well, I'm talking implementation, but okay. So create API is one thing that would get affected. What else?
Are you trying to suggest, like, for example,
Um,
if we could
No.
do smart and everything you work with the both layouts?
Well, that's what I was thinking about, create API, but then I realized that's talking implementation, which I don't think we need to talk about now. I'm trying to go through what I was intending to go through was what is likely affected, and then think about how they would be affected to see how big of a change the V4 would be. I mean, I think it's the logical place to do it now that it's in alpha. It's probably a good time to get that thing done. So
I think the only place that is affected, maybe, I don't know if Ivar would like to say something as well. I think is here in the controller Jane. I think we say the path. Manifest where is, I think it has the target to scaffold the fix. Config, no, it's just the basis that's what it pass. I think it works. I think maybe only the code for the markers. I know that the Kubebuilder has many places that we put like groups, because it has the other layout, right? It has the multi-group, I don't know. Has this one.
Bryce has
Where do we
that
have
too.
the group inside? Yeah, but I don't think it's too much change, right? It's like all places where we define the path now, we will only append, put a prefix that is the package, the directory, right? And thinking about SDK, I don't think you affect as well. Because the plugins, I don't remember any plugin that do things on top of the controller or the APIs.
Yeah, I agree that V4 plugin would be a nice place. I'm just wondering if config should also go inside the package, because that's also a part of the configuration. And another thing which I was thinking is, could we let the user specify the path in which they want the controller and API to have? That's like a feature to add, because then we should make the marker smarter enough to wire in the exact path where we want things to be scaffolded. but like thoughts on making it configurable so that we can support both the layouts and then eventually deprecate that particular option and move to having everything in package.
I I would say plus one to what Barsha was saying about having it so that way you can configure where controller and API goes if you want. But I think having a same default is good as well. One thing I wanted to point out is that like with controllers, would that be better suited to go inside like package internal? Because I know a lot of times when I've looked at other operator projects that have been created, a lot of the times the controllers is something that's kind of just internal to the operator and doesn't ever really have anything exported for users, whereas the API does. And then I also don't know if config would really fit inside the package, because my understanding is that it's just a bunch of like Kubernetes like YAML files that something's done with customize. But just a couple of my thoughts on it as well.
Yeah, we can also check it is common knowledge documentations to validate the config, right? And come back and discuss again in the next meeting. But I have the same feeling as well. The config doesn't go inside of the package because it's not a Golang stuff. And I believe that people would like to have this layout package and APIs to do. One of the most motivations is that stuff, like people want to export the APIs, right? The use the model in another project. So look if we should also create the controllers inside of internal. I think also it's a good idea too. Hello.
Yep.
I hear you still.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just got really
to be sure.
quiet. I don't know why.
Yeah. So, but I think we don't need to decide right now. I just should like to bring it to attention and see what do you think, folks, right? Like, because I has no reason if people want to change the layout, we have the alpha plugin. I was thinking that, right? Why not we can go there and change, because it's too much votes, 21.
Yeah.
I think we should accept what the community says
Is
that
there
they want.
a V4 milestone or anything that we can attach this to?
I think we have, right?
There.
Go V4. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think it should be part of that.
we can also remove the triage block, right?
Yeah.
But we can put needs triage again, just before we come back in the next meeting. We should stop and think about, and what about we wrote here. We have been discussing about accept choose one and change the default down to go before alpha. Also, suggestion made. Was is all controllers under the path. Other one, check the config. I don't know if you, what do you think, Varsha? Do you think that you agree with the idea that the config is only customized and because of that it would not go inside of the package? Or would you like it, or should we can also, maybe we can put in this way, right?
Yeah, I understand the side of argument where it's not like internal Go stuff, so it need not be a part of package. But my point was it's a bunch of configuration file where it makes sense. But I understand the other side of point, so that also
Mhm.
makes reasonable sense.
Wait, what's the other side? Are we talking about moving config?
Yes.
Yeah, but having it on the root seems reasonable.
Or why would we move it? That wasn't part of this issue, is it?
No.
Okay.
It's not.
No, since
Because
we
to
are
me,
talking about scaffolding, I just brought that up.
oh, okay. I mean, to me, config, because it's, to me, I don't think of it as code that gets imported. I mean, we read files, but that's why it's not too, it would seem weird to me to look for the config directory in package or in internal. It just, that's not where I would look for it. But
Yeah,
like controllers and API, because they contain, I mean, I know YAML file can be code, but they contain the code that's actually running. It's natural for me to look for them in package. Go ahead, Bryce.
I was just going to say, I consider that config directory, the way that it's set up, kind of like a Docker file for a project, in the sense that it's meant only for this particular project. And so in this case, that configuration is for the operator or controllers that are being created with Kubebuilder, and is kind of unique to that project and isn't really something that should be imported by another project. It's kind of how it's used to configure the operator on a cluster and stuff like that. So it's kind of like deployment details.
As we are talking about this, though, this starts to open up. Hey, do we have other items on the agenda before we just rail on this guy?
we have it. I'm just trying to put it here.
Okay, that's fine.
People. Let's see what do you think as well, if that is good or not. What do you think about the text?
Yeah, that's fine.
Discussing about accept this one. Accept this one. Over. Why?
No, discuss.
Oh, why? It's about,
We
right?
have been discussing.
Oh, it's just this issue. I change the way.
No, you can leave it as accepting. We have been discussing this issue. Yes, that's fine. Is that
Então,
Grammarly running in the background?
yes,
Okay.
I need to choose stuff. And it doesn't work very well. Should be better. Therefore, please feel free to attend if you'd like to speak about it. Just to also
Yeah.
maybe these people can came and you'll know more about it as well. Okay. So cool. Let's go to the next one.
You know, the reason I was asking that issue also opens up the can of worms of if we make something configurable, do we make more things configurable? So
My only concern with the configurable thing is like I'm not against that. I just think that is not simple, right? Came with a solution. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
you would
definitely not simple, but I'm wondering if that would make more sense because there'll be questions, issues raised on, I would like to have under package. Now I would like to scaffold it under a separate path because I want to have this organized in this way. So can we make it the other way around in the next plugin or things like that? So it's
Yeah.
definitely something difficult to implement, like not an easy path to go ahead, but I'm thinking if it's worth it.
Yeah, I think there's two paths. You either do it to the letter of the law and say, okay, we're going to move API and controllers, done. That's it. No more, no less. Or if you give the option of configurability, you start to have the conversation of, okay, how configurable do I want this? Because I guarantee you that's the next request. Whichever way we go, oh, well, it would be nice if I could do this. And having the config there will be more complicated to code, but I think it starts to open up the ability to put it wherever you want. We don't care. You just need to tell us. Or because we gave you flags, maybe we have to store something in the project file or store it somewhere so that we know where they are. But that, yeah, okay, we can have that conversation. But yeah, I think that's where it's going to go. That conversation is going to go. I mean,
I think allow people to configure would be amazing. I just don't know how we could like make all plugins be able to look this configuration, right? Should be something like a YAML file where we define the default paths. Maybe in the project file, we could like have it an option to track the layout where is what, right? But I don't know how much complex would be that to keep maintaining. And the other one only change put the package into the API into the controllers inside of the package for Go before shows very simple, right? And a lot of people has been asking that for too long. But I also think like we need to think about it. Do you want to put the internal or not? Like, because we cannot change every time, right? We need to, I think it has two things, right? I think we can change the default layout and we can create an issue and see if someone would like to work in a proposal for something configurable, right? One thing don't remove the other option, right? But I don't have an objection about to put the package. I don't know why. I don't have any context why we don't have the package as well. If I think about it, I saw in many places that say good practice for Golang. You have the package and the stuff inside.
yeah, I don't remember why that was not there to begin with, but makes sense.
Oh.
Okay, we can have this conversation again when we revisit that issue, but
we can create a task for that. I think. Anyway, I think we can create a text, a issue for that, right? I think create an issue and ask if someone would like to work in a proposal, right? If someone came with a nice proposal as well, that's fine. Objections? Or let me know if you don't agree, folks.
no, that's fine.
Okay, we have time yet, so that's good. So okay, the other thing is like I was thinking, this one I think we have now in the readme. We updated the readme, so we have the information here about Kubebuilder as a lib. So I think that is outdated. I think we have it here, right? It's also fair. So I will remove this one. Sorry. And the last one is about the config gen, right? So we have this option is like alpha command, and I don't have the impression that people is actually using the config gen. We also thought like, okay, the idea was like we have like a plugin config gen, and people could choose between I want to customize or I want to config gen, right? But Tony tried to work in the plugin, and I shows that maybe that is not so possible if the plugin are not so easy, because if I am not wrong with the configuring option, you need the tool generating the files for you. That is what the alpha command, I believe, that is doing. Do you like to speak about that, Tony? Because if you remember, do you try to move for the plugin?
Uh, I didn't remember that much long, but one issue when I was trying to dealing with the origin PR issue is like, so some subcommands from the config gen is like, it's not very corresponds to the subcommands of the Kubebuilder itself, which means that if previously I want to migrate it from a subcommand to a plugin, that means that when you want to trigger that, you need to use that with the combination of either the kube init or kube edit or kube create API. But the general usage of config gen is like, you might want to casually use its function, not really want to combine with the subcommands that Kubebuilder provides. So that's the place where I feel it's hard to migrate it to as a plugin. So previously, I guess Camilla and I have been discussed a little bit if ever we want to provide another subcommand such as kb run, so that we can casually trigger the plugin regardless of the general subcommands to scaffold the project. But I'm not sure like how suitable it would be for to introduce in the current the Kubebuilder pattern.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we need to came with a solution here, right? But I think that is something that we could think about, because for example, the config gen add all these dependence, right? So we try to have less dependence as possible, because we need to check the license. I think all these ones has the license, that is fine, and it is on. But ideally, as less dependence means less effort, less work to keep the project maintained. And the other thing is like we have, I think when we bump the Golang 1.18 was really trick the config gen, because if I'm not wrong, it is using another way, is doing the tests in another way. It was very hard to fix the things. So I spoke in the past with Patrick and about like if we decide to externalize the config gen, would you be okay with that? He's very okay. He also, if you see that if people is not using you know, NGO folks decide, you can remove as well. I'm cool with that. But I think the idea is nice, right? It was like another way to do the things. Has a video with the demo that he made like 1 year or 2 years ago, when the option was introduced. So my idea was like just bring here and see like, folks, what do you think? With the time we can try to check that folder, see how the config gen works. We can try to do a poll and see if he has someone that actually is using that, or if you have something that nobody cares, nobody uses, and like just bring burn for the project, right? And then we could create, like, for example, the Kubegen, which is the config gen using Kubebuilder, but using another repo and it only has this approach, for example, and see if that grows as well. Because maybe because that is alpha option, also people doesn't know that exists, and because that doesn't use, right?
Are we talking about like externalizing it as a phase 2 plugin as well?
I think I
Or
think it's
just its
hard.
own repo, but not phase 2?
Yeah. If we could make a plugin, right? We could have a configuration as a plugin inside of the Kubebuilder. And after, if we decide to externalize, we have everything done, right? It's only move the code. But I think
Oh, but it's not a plugin.
it's not a plugin. It's an alpha
Oh,
option.
okay. I see.
So has a demo. I'll try after this meeting. I'll try to find the link and I'll put here as well. And when you folks have time, you give a look. We can discuss that. It has no rush, right, to decide this. But another option would be like SDK, right? We could have a repo that is like a Kubegen instead of a Kubebuilder. And we use a Kubebuilder, like a config gen use a Kubebuilder and all stuff from Kubebuilder. And we just move the implementation for there. And instead of be alpha option, it will be like the 2 option, right? And also you would bring visibility to this implementation. Or we could try to see if it has any option for we move for a plugin, if we maybe need to create another interface, like Tony said, like run or execute, like Kubebuilder execute and then pass something, right? And
So
the plugin.
why did this not move out of alpha? Did we
Like, yeah,
not like why didn't I mean because I thought the intent was to have this replace I guess something.
it's alpha because it's like a POC, like it doesn't have all possible options, right?
Mhm.
And if I remember properly, this feature, because it was too long ago, I would need to watch again the demo and all stuff. And nobody's asking nothing about that, because this I believe that nobody is using, right? We have no issues. We have nobody asking something about. So if I remember properly, you need to run the command to generate the files, the configs that we have inside of the config directory. But the implementation, you like putting a YAML, what do you want? And then you have the same, and you don't need to explode the directory with the files, right? You'll be like what is the name of that project in Java that you configure the things? I forget the name.
Could be a bunch. I don't remember.
Spring Boot.
Uh,
So like Spring Boot, you have a YAML, you configure everything, and this all is done for you behind of the scene, right? But you
so
don't
if
need to explode the files as well.
so the next one another question would be if the maintenance burden is
It's not too high because nobody asks anything about that.
well that's what I mean
And
if no one's
uh,
asking and it's not really being used and the question is I mean have we thought about removing it?
yeah, that is one of the options, right? So Patrick is fine if you decide we will just delete and is that, and if you want to come back, we go there in the tag, take the code and try to put it back. But for the other side, I felt a little bit sad as well, like because he made a lot of effort on cheese. And I don't know if he like one of the things is possible people are not using this option only because it's hiding the alpha commands, like subcommands of the tool. If we have like a Kubebuilder, would people try to use that? Would people like to use this approach? I don't know, right? It's one idea, like he tried to do the things in another way and see what people, if people would like or not, right? And then if this option would replace the customize or the config director. Actually, this option that I remember replace the config director fully.
Okay.
But yeah, I it's just sad, right? Go there and delete the code.
I mean, it
About
is, but you know, if no one is willing to maintain it and it needs to get updated and it's not widely used, then having the tough conversation of, okay, maybe we need to deprecate or at least, you know, we, because it's alpha, we could probably just remove it, but it maybe out
yeah,
of a courtesy, we could say, hey, we're thinking about deprecating this command and then following release and see what happens. I mean, I think it
see
should
if
be at least
someone
on the table as one of the options to have a conversation.
yeah,
So,
because my personal thought is like the best thing would be like we have only plugins, right? Like we have the plugins ecosystem. Everything is a plugin. And you will also be very consistent with the plugins. Because the plugins, okay, that is fine. We could move for another project in any moment. We could say, okay, these plugins people are not using too much, or we decide you no longer keep maintaining, and we create a repo and you leave all that, and if the community wants, they can keep maintaining, right? But how much more people use the Kubebuilder as a lib, like SDK, probably that would help us have more people like contributing with the project, right? Like if a Kubebuilder be more like a lib to create the tools with helpers that let people only focus in what they need to do to solve their needs, like by plugins, and we use the external option plugins. And inside of a Kubebuilder, we have only the plugins that people actually really use and are very related to the project, and we reduce the burn to keep the things maintained as
yeah.
well.
Yep. Okay. I mean, I'm
It,
not opposed to either. I just think we should add all the different things. Clearly, um, they all have some level of effort. Making it its own plugin would have a significant effort in terms of making sure that it aligns to the plugins. Removing it has its own effort in terms of making sure that no one is using it and things like that. Keeping it as is has its own level of effort in terms of keeping it maintained and alive, or at least that it compiles and builds.
yeah.
So, okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah,
I
it's
think,
something far away thinking, right? Like
how about
bring
we
it to attention.
maybe we should create an issue or a task or something that we talk specifically about this config gen, sorry.
What to do about config gen, something like that.
Yeah. If you want, I
What
can
is the
create that
future?
issue. I'll
Sure.
create the issue about it and then put in the options that I've heard, and then we can have that discussion there.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be. And then I can put it.
Can that
So,
discussion board be used for this, or is that mostly to?
yeah, I think it could be a nice place, right?
Okay, because
The
it
discussion.
almost seems like it would be nice to. I can still create the issue, but it would be neat to have a discussion item for it to allow. Either way,
That
but
doesn't
I'll
change.
take the task of this.
That is like the issue, right? Just is another
Yes.
place.
That's
It
why
has
I was
no
like,
different feature.
you don't need
Like,
the issue if you're putting it in the discussion and vice versa. So
yeah, you can choose one place and
I think the
put that
discussion
is
is
fine.
better. Have the conversation, and then depending on what the discussion comes out, an issue can get created in terms of what actual work will be done. So, in other words, if the discussion ends up being we remove a new issue to remove it should be created. If the discussion ends up that it should be externalized as a plugin, that we can create an issue to go handle that piece. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
If the problem is we could not move it as a plugin so far. If that it was a plugin inside of the Kubebuilder, it would be less effort, right? Because it has the same layout,
Oh,
the
I know
same
that.
way
I
to
know.
test.
What I'm saying
Yeah.
is, if the discussion says it should be a plugin, then identifying what that means in terms of having to effectively, it could mean rewriting that so it is a plugin, which would significantly change the CLI. It's still an option. It just means a lot more work than what it is.
Yeah. I think always is possible, right? But it's not something simple, because Eric started to try to do that and didn't accomplish. Tony also tried to move forward with his PR and didn't accomplish.
Yeah.
I can share with you the issue that we have to move that for a plugin, and and the both PRs, like for you put in the history as well. Like, it's not something simple.
Yeah.
And the video, I can find. Are you looking for the demo for you also put in the discussion?
Awesome. Oh, I need to run. I gotta go to another one. And
I think we can finish it for today. Has only one item in the triage, and we can do in the next time.
okay.
I think we discussed a lot of things. It's enough.
Yeah. Thanks, folks. Good to see everyone. Bye.
Really, thank you, folks. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Camelia, just one question.
Okay.
There is one ticket, right? Update Kubebuilder CLI to use KHS 1.25. So is it something I can pick? Like, I'm a kind of a beginner, but if you can help me or like give me some pointers so I can work on it.
Do you
Regarding
need?
this.
Would you like it to update?
Yeah, I pasted in this chat.
Okay, so let's see if I understand. You has one issue for we update the Kubebuilder CLI, update with what, Kubernetes?
Yes.
I think you always done now.
Oh, it is done. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
because can you see my screen?
It's not shared. I mean, unshared.
Just a moment. I will share. If you check, I think. Let's see.
So you opened 2 days ago, so that's why I asked.
Don't be. So this one, we have a pull request open for that. This one was merged today.
Okay. Okay, then it's fine. It's okay. So let me like if I can start working on something, right? I mean, I
Oscar
really
has
look
been on work on that, but if you look here, like for example, if you came good first issue and you put assign it to nobody, right? All these ones are good first for you start are good like
Okay.
are issues that theoretically has the description and you any person that has no knowledge in the project would be able to take and try to move forward, right?
Okay, I'll start from this.
So I think these ones are very nice if you wanted to like begin to contribute with the project.
Okay, I'll just have a look and assign it to person.
If you don't want to these ones, like you can take anyone that has nobody assigned it, like you can assign it to yourself and start to work. And if you need help, just ping in the channel, in the Kubebuilder channel, and we will try to help you out.
Sure, sure. I
Sure.
think this is great. I'll have a look.
Okay, really nice.
Thank you.
Thank you for want to contribute with the project and help us.
Yes, yes, sure. Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.